Hello everyone and welcome to episode 92 of the Video Games Ahoy Podcast. 92. Man, we still need to think of something to do for the 100th episode.
Less than 2 months now.
I know. We need to think of something. It needs to be shocking and entertaining.
Let's do the whole thing live.
Yes! Let's do it! I think that's game changing. Game changing. I'm your host, Jonathan Radford, and today I'm joined by Davy G.
Pen, pineapple, apple, pen.
I genuinely thought you were going to start singing that. Dav was just streaming, and he was playing Bugsnax, and it was so relaxed. It was so relaxed that I'm just completely chill right now. And there was one point where he started singing. Were you singing Push?
Agadoo.
You were singing Agadoo, the classic. Hang on, my camera's a bit low.
Pineapple, sugar treat. There was a quest that was called Pen Pineapple in the game, and I didn't realise the reference at the time to pen, pineapple, apple, pen.
Is that what it was? Because I just thought I only came in as you were singing, so I didn't even see the reference. I'm just like...
I'm often singing Agadoo on my streams, to be fair. It's,
yeah.
One of our theme tunes.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Hey, ACP, how you doing? I showed ACP a picture of us, because this is the thing. We actually all met for the first time. I mean, I know everyone, and I've met everyone in person, but we haven't met as a foursome ever before, and we got some nice, fun photographs, which was just lovely. It was just lovely. It was lovely to see you.
It was a lovely day. Did you have a nice day?
Man, I'm genuinely quite tired. It's 2 days now, so basically it was my wedding, kind of. I'm already married, but it was the party that we've been waiting 2 years for. I'm very tired. I'm very, very tired. Hey, Big Al. I also got to meet Big Al. Amazing.
Yeah, everyone met Big Al as well.
Yes, I'm a big fan. Big fan of Big Al is what I am. But yeah, man, I'm so tired. I'm so freaking tired.
Me too.
All right, let's talk about the old podcast, and then we'll get into some juicy news. Because there's a wee bit of juicy news today that broke up this morning, which I want to dive right into. I want to sink our little boat, and I don't know why I'm sinking the boat, but I want to get the boat, and I want to drop the anchor and just pull up some stuff. That's what I want to do. That's what we're going to do right now. But we're a podcast. And we go out every Monday live. I know. Sometimes we like to put things out on YouTube and Facebook and other places. If you watch us, then check us out just by your ears. And if you're just listening by your ears, then also get the senses of your face balls called your eyes.
Your eye listening. Listen with your eyes.
Listen with your eyes and your ears. And we're on YouTube as well. If that's what you'd like.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. But only if you want to. If you think that we are a pile of shit, then also still like and subscribe, because we're shameless.
Yeah,
without shame.
Shameless.
Without
Video
shame.
Shames Ahoy.
Oh, well, fucking hell.
Thank you.
Thank you for that video.
See you next week.
Yep. Okay. Awesome. Done. Most important bit done. Let's talk about Square Enix. Now, actually, the first two topics are actually about Square Enix. We're doing the first two stories about Square Enix, and they're both kind of weird and some kind of bad, but we'll talk about it. Anyway, Embracer Group has agreed to acquire a large part of Square Enix's Western development arm for $300 million. $300 million is
not much.
Is really not much in the grand scheme of things. When there's a $70 billion deal to buy Activision, like currently going through in America with Microsoft, and then you see $300 million for like three very talented studios, is genuinely quite shocking. Like, the story is all kinds of shocking because it does. There might be implications from this, which we'll get onto in a little bit. But anyway, they've sold 3 of their studios for $300 million to Embracer Group, who own, is it like Koch Media? They are Saber Interactive. They
have THQ Nordic.
THQ Nordic as well. Yeah. So it's it's weird, and I think it's Gearbox as well. So they own the Borderlands series. I think Borderlands is probably the biggest series they own. Well, probably was the biggest series they own. They now own Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, Legacy of Kain. I guess the first two were probably the bigger ones there.
Legacy Kane though. I mean, a buyout like this always gives some spice to all the franchises. Bring me some Legacy of Kane.
It's interesting.
Yes, sir.
300 million, and Tomb Raider is one of those included. I mean, that as an IP has sold 40 million copies. That game,
something silly.
It's one of the best-selling franchises of all time, and the last 3 games have been very well received. So I don't know. That just. I guess the implications from this is what I've read online and from what I've seen, and I guess we'll talk about it now, is what do we ultimately think this is Square Enix selling things off because they want to be bought? Because there's a theory, there's been a rumor for a long time that Sony are looking to buy Square Enix. If they sell, they basically sold off their entire Western development studios, and they've basically got those core Japanese studios now. And
interesting.
There's
that. Yeah, I could buy that. Absolutely.
I hope it doesn't happen because
it's getting a bit weird now, isn't it?
Purely because I think Square Enix are too good for more than Microsoft, Nintendo. Square Enix and Nintendo have considering how bad it was in the 90s, they have a pretty good relationship now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I'd be worried if they lost stuff like Bravely Default.
Well, you can bet that if Sony bought Square Enix, those games are gone.
Exactly. Yeah,
those sort of B tier, old school SNES JRPGs that they like to pump out, all gone.
Yeah.
Sony is AAA big hitters on nothing.
Yep. But then it also means stuff like Dragon Age wouldn't Dragon Age 11. Dragon Quest, not Dragon Age. Dragon Quest 11. I think is it 11? Basically the one that came out. Echoes of Elysium. Yeah, that's the one. The one basically the one that came out on the Switch. Is the one they basically went, oh, okay, we released this previously, but the Switch one's so good, we're actually going to stop releasing the old one, and now we're just going to use the Switch one. So, if that hadn't got a second life on Switch, it wouldn't be the greatly reviewed and beloved game that it is now.
Yeah.
So it's really, I don't know, I worry a little bit. I guess, in the same way I don't like anyone, I don't know.
Well, the bizarre thing is that, Sony buying Square Enix is almost an anti-Nintendo move more than it is an anti-Microsoft.
Yeah, 100%, absolutely.
And it is a bit odd. I think, although I think we maybe are in this new age of, even if Sony bought Square Enix, maybe we still see those games.
Yeah, Destiny, you're right, yeah. Bungie, Destiny, they said that from...
MLB The Show.
Yep.
And then with Microsoft, you've got your Minecraft. You've got your Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop, which they honoured. I think maybe we are entering this new era. Psychonauts 2, they honoured.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe ownership is just about a control and a more solidified continuous income, especially with the subscription services. It's about how do you pad out your subscription service as opposed to how do you create exclusives.
No, it's a really good point. It genuinely is a really interesting point because we have I am jumping the gun. I'm very aware that I've already destined that Square Enix can be bought by Sony, and all I've seen online is just people saying, why would they be selling off this if only to lower their value and be someone wants to buy it? I don't know. Well, it does seem like something that PlayStation would do, especially since they bought up Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah. Well, I think especially what's important to remember is that actually the studios that Square Enix sold off are studios that pump out great games and have always been reported by Square Enix as underperforming.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, they've slammed 2 of those at least. Is it Eidos Montreal? Which one was
Guardians of the Galaxy? Is a great game.
Square Enix Montreal is the one they absolutely slammed recently because they were just
Eidos Montreal and Square Enix Montreal. And then Tomb Raider, the games, the whole publishing deal with Microsoft for the second one and then the third one, there was no marketing for it. It was all very weird. And I think Square Enix just never knew what they were doing with these companies.
Yeah, there was something I read. I think it was Jason Schreier, actually, my best friend. And it could have been him, it could have been someone else, but it was someone reputable anyway. And they were basically saying that Square Enix bought these studios when Square Enix were a bit on their knees and they were a bit worried because they weren't doing very well. And they were like, we need something. The Western studios are doing really well. Let's buy some. And they did that, and they just never knew what to do with them. And you can tell because Like
Square Enix had IO Interactive as well, who had Hitman.
They did, and then
they take about to them because they're like, well, we don't know what to do with this. And
Yeah.
now, IO and Hitman is like one of the most revered franchises in the world right now.
And they're about to make a James Bond game, which they probably definitely wouldn't have made.
Imagine Square Enix getting their fingers into that James Bond game like they did with the Avengers game. Oh my gosh.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, like the whole Avengers thing. I guess this is a wider topic about Square Enix, and we'll talk about this in a sec because the next news story is actually like it's along this similar track. We've actually spoken about this a few times on the podcast, how disorganized Square Enix seem to be, and that sometimes they'll do something genuinely brilliant, and then like the next game along will be an unfinished mess.
Yeah.
And one of those games, which we will talk about, not quite, is a Balan Wonderworld, which with the next story will be about that game and how it was unfinished and the reasons why, which we'll get into a little bit. But like, it's just Square Enix they seem to be badly run. And one thing they did say today, one of the reasons why they said they wanted to sell off these studios is to concentrate on making stuff on the focusing on the blockchain. They want to do all that kind of nonsense, and I worry for them a little bit. Although I did see Reggie also wants to do something with Animal Crossing, and I was like, just shut up, Reggie.
It's complicated because the actual blockchain stuff itself can and could be useful and good for like the gaming world, but it's so obvious that when they talk about blockchain, they're on about NFTs and crypto nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. They just want more money. They want to. That's it. It's scamming people essentially.
Is it this week that the Ghost Recon, or it's a couple of weeks ago maybe, that the Ghost Recon Breakpoint NFTs? It was the first Ubisoft game to have NFTs in it. And like a month later, they're like, oh, by the way, we're putting no more work into this game and cancelling the NFTs. Thanks for being a part of history. Look forward to NFTs in our other games. And it's like, it's just so gross. Just so clearly a cash grab and like testing on this poor player base of Ghost Recon Breakpoint. All they want is a good Ghost Recon game, and Ubisoft just can't give it to them.
Man, I feel so sorry for the social media managers, the people who actually run like social media websites on Twitter and Facebook. I genuinely feel so sorry for them because they must be so many of them are like, this is bullshit, but I have to write it in the most positive way possible, and then they get slammed and they have to read the comments. It's just like, just all these, I don't know. Anyway, 300 million for 3 very talented studios, having two fairly sizable IPs in Tomb Raider and Deus Ex as well. No word on whether the Guardians of the Galaxy and Avengers are going to go with that, whether that'll continue, because I don't think the Avengers have stopped.
Interesting, isn't it? Because like I know that Avengers has slowed, but like Avengers was a deal with Square Enix as a publisher.
Yeah.
So now they won't own Crystal Dynamics.
Yeah.
Will another team take over, or will they just be like, oh, that game's done now?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like the latter is most likely.
I think that is Square Enix going, we're done.
I don't know anyone who plays that game.
And it's such a shame because it had great potential. But I mean, the thing is, we all knew that game was going to be. That game was worrying from the start when we saw it, and we're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
One thing about Crystal Dynamics, though, is that apparently this doesn't affect their relationship with Perfect Dark. They're still going to be taking the lead on that. It's something I read earlier, so that hasn't changed a single bit, which is good because again, very talented studios. I think we'll finish on that topic because I guess we'll kind of move on to the next one, which again,
Balan Wonderland.
Wonderland. What did I say? Wonderworld. Yuji Naka, who is the creator of Sonic, basically went on an incredible rant. I think it was a few days ago. Either a few days ago, last week. Basically, he released a load of tweets that is available online. You can go and read them, and it just going back to Square Enix. It just shows you how disorganized they all are.
Because he was the director of Balan Wonderworld.
He was the director of Balan Wonderworld. I mean, he was the creator of Sonic. So this is iconic director and person in video games, and he got specifically slammed for how bad Balan Wonderworld was. But what it sounds like is that Square Enix basically knew they had an unfinished game. He told them, you have an unfinished game. They fired him and then released it anyway because he wanted more time to fix it. So I'm just like, more and more this is making sense about what's happening at Square Enix, in that, like, they basically know they have a few people there. Like, it basically just seems like if it's not Final Fantasy, and it's just not priority, and that's really freaking sad.
It is such a shame that their business model is, we plan for these games need to come out at these times because that's when we want to make money from those games. If it's unfinished, wrap it up. Yeah. Wrap it up because we're pushing it out anyway. So you've got 3 months. You better make this somehow playable.
Yeah.
And like Guardians of the Galaxy is very rough around the edges. It's a great game, but it's rough around the edges.
Yeah.
You give that game another 3 months and it's probably game of the year. Contender, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But things like Balan Wonder, something, Strangers of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins.
Oh, God.
That other weird Babylon's Fall.
Oh, yeah, that came and went. That came and
went. My God. It's just such and these are all happening now, and then you have like Guardians of the Galaxy, which like is such a great game, and it's weird that Embracer Group's buying them because the whole monopolization thing is going to get weirder and weirder as we go on. But
they have a lot. I was looking earlier, and like, geez, they've got a lot.
And but it's fun to see that Eidos Montreal are going to get a chance to maybe have some kind of creative freedom.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch of IPs that Embracer own. It's like, well, maybe we see Eidos Montreal do something with something else. Like, maybe they get their hands on... I'm trying to think now. Maybe they get their hands on like a Borderlands spin-off.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool, actually.
Like, they are quite masterful in their way of sort of choose your own adventure via gameplay mechanics and stuff. You see some kind of Borderlands where like certain guns take you down certain factions and you can sort of do missions in any way you want. And maybe we're talking about a more interesting game than how I find Borderlands to be now. And
I tell you
ton of stuff at their disposal.
I tell what's really interesting though is a couple of weeks ago. I know we're kind of drifting back into the first topic, but the first these topics are kind of part of the same I guess, theme. Is that only I think it was only like last week or 2 weeks ago. It was announced that Tomb Raider, like, they're going to start making the next Tomb Raider game, which
Crystal Dynamics, or Eidos,
which now Eidos, which kind of makes sense now. They were just kind of like, okay, we're going to make the next Tomb Raider game, which I guess would have made, I don't know, helped them. I don't know.
Embracer own Dark Horse Comics, so let's see the guys who made Guardians of the Galaxy make a Hellboy game.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Right?
That'd be really cool, actually.
Because you've got the squad, the BPRD, Bureau of Paranormal, blah, blah, blah. And there is that kind of humor in there in Hellboy and BPRD that would be really fun to play through.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man. I don't know what's going on with Square Enix, and I don't know what's going to happen with them. But it is something to, I don't know, keep an eye on, because I'm not sure this situation is going to be the end of it. I think there's something going to come.
You think there's something cooking?
I think so, man. Because for so long, there's been rumors of like Sony buying Square Enix, and it would make sense now if Sony had gone to Square Enix and said, like, cut the fat, we'll buy this, but we're not going to buy this. It would make sense. It would, because they've got rid of like 3 studios that Square Enix have flat out said they think are doing shit.
What if this is the Japanese publisher that Microsoft were rumored to be interested
That
in?
would be interesting. Now that would be very interesting. I mean,
I personally think Sony's more likely than Microsoft. But
and
at this stage, anything's possible.
And I would trust Microsoft a little bit more with certain games being on other consoles. But I guess,
and the variety of the games as well. I think we'd still get the I Am Setsunas and Lost Spheres, hopefully not Crystal Chronicles, but something better than and a bit more experimental.
But also, like, Microsoft already shown more than Sony, I guess, already, that they're willing to work with other companies and put other games that they own on other platforms. I guess specifically Nintendo as well, because they know, especially in Japan, Nintendo sells. But that is the end of Square Enix. Well, not the end of Square Enix, but the end of our Square Enix talk.
Of Square Enix.
The end of everything. It's just the end. We're going to move on to Microsoft, though, because they have confirmed plans to host its E3-style Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase event on Sunday, June 12th. This show will feature amazing titles coming from Xbox Game Studios, Bethesda, and our partners around the world. It's set on Thursday. The Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase will include everything you need to know about their diverse lineup of games coming soon to the Xbox ecosystem, including upcoming games to Game Pass on Xbox and PC. The event will start at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and 6 p.m. Local UK time. That's a nice time on a Sunday.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Yeah, that's
lovely.
That's a nice time for us. It'll be on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. I'll be watching it on Twitch. That's my announcement for those three. But
maybe we'll be streaming it.
Well, we probably will be. The nice Sunday at 6 p.m. That I'll definitely be streaming that. But it's nice that they've announced it. It's nice to know that we have this event coming up June 12th. It's really not that far away. It's coming up
absolutely
like 6 weeks away, maybe something like that. Dav, if there's any game that Microsoft owns that you would like to see announced or have a gameplay reveal or a new trailer update that we haven't really seen much of, what would it be?
I mean, Hellblade 2.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Is so cool. But also, what's it called? The Obsidian Avowed.
Avowed, yeah.
Would be cool.
I always find it really funny now that like they basically made a Skyrim ripoff, and now Microsoft owns Skyrim. It's really funny.
Hey, maybe Elder Scrolls 6. Maybe it's time.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Avowed was always Elder Scrolls 6. They were just ahead of the curve.
I'd like to see something Gears, maybe a Gears Tactics 2.
Yeah, that'd be it. That would be really interesting.
Or like, really cool. Halo Wars. Maybe a Halo Wars style Gears game. The fact that they changed it to Gears 5, it's like, right, let's stretch out. Let's make loads of different games in the Gears IP in the universe.
Man, I need to finish. Like, I always loved 1 and 2, Gears of War 1 and 2, but I never actually played beyond that, and I really should go back and play them because they're
all good.
They're only like 10 hours long as well. You fly through them.
If that. And they're all at least good, if not great.
Yeah. I loved the first game. I thought it was. I thought it was at the time. It was game changing. It was genuinely phenomenal.
Forget everything I've ever said. I want to see Machine Games' Indiana Jones game.
That is a shout. Actually, I'd love to see that. I just love
Wolfenstein is one of my favorite modern. It's probably my favorite modern franchise at the moment. And they obviously make Wolfenstein. And I do really enjoy the Indiana Jones films, but I'm not like, I love them so much. But like, one of my favorite studios, a legendary IP, slap that together, we're cooking.
And we haven't had an Indiana Jones game in decades, and it has great potential. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I guess comparisons will be made with Uncharted, but I hope they don't go down the Uncharted route in the way that it is. A bit more adventure-y would be nice.
There's that Contraband game as well that's being made in partnership with the guys from Just Cause. It's like sort of a heist game. So we'll see. We'll see what that is.
I love a good heist. I often enjoy heist films. So I'd be excited for that. If I was to choose one, I know it's unlikely because I think there's been some slight delays with it. I would love to see Fable. If I could see one, just because I love the Fable games. I'm so excited to play the new one when it eventually comes out, but I know there's been some issues with it. But yeah, super excited. If I got to see that, I'd be very happy. Very, 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 very happy. I guess we're just waiting now for like Nintendo. They're the next big one, I guess. I imagine they'll do one around that time.
Sony will do something in the summer as well.
Yeah. It's weird because there's no E3. There's no like Nintendo. Nintendo can just pivot and be like, well, we don't need to do it in June. Let's just do it in May. They don't have to do it in June now because there's no E3. So it'll be interesting to see if they follow that similar plan just because it's something they have done for 20 odd years, or whether they'll just go, we'll do our own thing.
Also, some Starfield gameplay.
I mean, if we don't see Starfield gameplay at this event, I'm going to be like,
worried.
What? Yeah, because we've not seen any gameplay. We've seen nothing.
What are they hiding?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what worries me from the company famously known for releasing unfinished games.
They'll start with it. They'll start with Starfield.
Yeah, they have to, man.
They'll be like, Bosh, 10 minutes. There you go.
Bosh, yeah. I really hope they say Bosh.
Phil Spencer walk out on stage, bosh, and just leave.
Just leaves. That's it. I love it. They have been releasing like these really cool videos, which I would find more cool if they'd already.
Starfield.
Yeah, like it's like they've shown like design videos and music videos. Be like, ooh, look at this backstage stuff, and that's great. If they'd also shown gameplay footage, I'd be like, that's awesome.
Yeah,
but they're currently only showing those things. I'm like, we want to see more. I want to see the freaking game. Show me the game.
This is how we made this. It's like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, music? What is this music? I want to see gameplay. That's what I want to see. No, the music does sound very nice, and I'm very excited for that. But just want to see gameplay. All right. Right. We now need to get on to one of the most iconic tweets of all time now. The Super Mario animated movie has been delayed to spring 2023. The news was confirmed today. This is not today. This is from last week. On the Nintendo of America Twitter account with a message written by Shigeru Miyamoto, who was co-producing the film with Illumination CEO Chris Meledandri. He started the tweet just by saying, "This is Miyamoto. After consulting with Chris-san, my partner Illumination on the Super Mario Bros. Film, we decided to move the global release to spring 2023, April 28th in Japan and April 7th in North America. My deepest apologies, but I promise it will be well worth the wait." Well, two things, first of all. One, I think every tweet now needs to start with, "This is," whoever is writing it. And the second thing is, when he says, after consulting with Chris-san, how many people instantly thought he was talking about Chris Pratt?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think everyone thought.
I thought it was about Chris Pratt until you just told me today. Honestly,
I think it's like there's no reference in the tweet that it's Chris Meledandri. Sorry, I'm terrible at reading. Meledandri. There's no reference.
Pretty sure Meledandri is a city in Lord of the Rings.
But they don't mention it. It just says Chris-san. So it's just like Chris Pratt. I know everyone.
They'll know. They'll know who Chris Meledandri is.
Honestly, because when I first read it, I genuinely, my first thought process was like, why are you talking to Chris Pratt? What's he going to do with it?
Why does Chris Pratt get to say when this film comes out?
Yeah, it's like, no, I'm not quite ready to release this film. Okay, fair. Thank you, Chris Pratt.
It's me, Mario.
Get out. But yeah, do you know what will be a real, really interesting is if Chris Pratt actually just does a full-blown Mario impression that is completely spot on. That will be shocking. Could you imagine?
It'll be shocking and annoying.
And then also pointless completely, but just like, it's just so basically you got Chris Pratt and just do an impression of someone that can already do that voice. But
it's going to be so hard to watch this thing.
Yeah.
I will watch it.
I think it's going to be an absolute mess. I think too. But I think I'm still going to love it because I enjoyed the Sonic. I enjoyed the first Sonic film. I enjoyed Pokemon. No, it's Detective Pikachu. I enjoyed Detective Pikachu. That was fun.
I've not watched any of these films.
I actually watched Uncharted last night as well. I watched that, and it was fine. It wasn't terrible. I've seen way worse films. I've also seen way better films. It was one of those films. I was so tired last night. I turned to Rose and said, "Uncharted's out. Should we watch it?" She was like, "Yes, please. That's the exact film I need to not pay attention to." I was like, and it was good. It was good.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. Hey, Full House. You enjoyed. Hey. You just finished watching it. Honestly, I'm
at Full House this weekend.
You did. It was lovely. Taking some very, very good pictures, by the way. In fact, the one that you saw, the picture that I showed you.
Oh yeah. That was
Full House.
Fab.
What did you think? What did you think of Uncharted? I thought it was fine. I thought it was. I would recommend it if you want something to watch that isn't gonna cause you to think. But
I actually I've brought a film, not a game, this week to what we've been playing.
I like that.
So perfect transition.
Shall I also talk about Uncharted for my game because I don't have a game either?
Actually, I played about an hour of Bug Snacks on stream just now. Lovely vibes, lovely.
It was lovely
vibes.
I can agree.
But the film that I saw was on a plane back from me Holly Bob's, but I forgot to mention it on the last podcast because I was also exhausted then. And that is the newish Mortal Kombat film.
Oh man! Right, okay.
Dude. Oh my god, this film's amazing. It's so bad.
Oh, okay. Whew. That's good to hear. I want to know that it's bad to keep up traditions.
It's like bad with like but like, there's just so much fan service in there, and that's all I wanted. All I want is just fan service, fan service, fan service, fan service. It's really weird. Okay, spoilers for the first 5 minutes of the film.
Okay.
It starts off, Sub-Zero rocks up, but he's called like Bihan, which I think is his lore name, and he comes over and he kills Scorpion.
What?
Or Hanzo, just kills him. I'm like, oh, sweet. Okay, so there's no Scorpion in this film. Anyway. You get so many characters. You get some characters that I'd never even heard of, and I've played like 10 Mortal Kombat games. So like, I'm like, oh, they've really like dug deep. The main character is such an empty void of charisma.
Yes,
it's bizarre, and he's like Scorpion's like long lost relative, right?
Beetle.
And
just Beetle.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can't remember his name. It's like, hi, I'm Logan Johnson. But I'm a cage fighter. I've just lost a fight, but I'm going to save the world. And it's like, you can't even beat that guy in the octagon. Anyway, and it's got loads of great ones. It's got Sonya Blade in there. It's got Jax. It's got Kano. And it's like mortals are going to be fighting... Sorry, the human realm. I can't remember any of the realms now, but there's the Outworld, and then there's Earth, and Earth Realm, maybe it's called. And Mortal Kombat, it's a tournament where they all play each other. But Outworld's like, you know what? There's a prophecy that Hanzo's long lost relative, who we're convinced doesn't exist because we killed Hanzo, but just in case, on this 10th tournament, even though he's just won the last 9, we're going to try and kill everyone that's going to be in the tournament before the tournament starts. There's no rule. It's literally like, there's no rule to say that we can't kill them beforehand. And you're like, oh wow, you evil villains, you sure know what you're doing. But the film basically ends up being a ton of 1v1 fights. You know, like in Mortal Kombat. Yeah. So, like, even though it's not a tournament structure, which I would have loved, I really wish it was, because any film with a tournament or some kind of competition that you can track is just,
it's great.
But you get lots of 1v1s. You get someone I think decapitates someone else and then just goes like, flawless victory.
Amazing.
Like, just says it after doing it. You're like,
oh wait,
what?
Does he say it in the same way that
he like is it's like, oh well, he can't do that much of an impression because he's in character, which is like flawless victory. And it's like, oh yes. Yeah, and you get himself. And like and there are some lovely payoffs in there that I won't spoil. But it's definitely worth a watch. You will laugh and be entertained. Some of the fight scenes are really good. Yeah. Some of them are a bit fine. But really, really good stuff. Definitely worth a watch. I watched it on a plane. It's the perfect plane film.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you probably never watch it outside of a plane, but
yeah. I also watched The Suicide Squad because I've not seen any of the other ones. Yeah, The Suicide Squad, like Idris Elba, John Cena, and stuff. Yeah, really good.
It's really good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Honestly, like, because I had not seen the first Suicide Squad and I heard so many bad things. So I watched The Suicide Squad. I was like, oh, this is really funny. And then I watched Peacemaker, and that is genuinely brilliant. Peacemaker is well worth a watch.
I really want to watch that.
John Cena is legitimately good, like a really good actor, by the way. In Peacemaker, he's genuinely really funny and also really good. I don't know. That's awesome, man. I really enjoyed that film. I thought it was great. I thought it was really good. Do you have any games to talk about? Anything at all? Or
played Bugsnax for an hour. That was pretty cool.
It's cool.
I've been getting back into Destiny 2 from after my Hollybobs. Really enjoying that. I'm playing a game called Lake. Really indie game, Game Pass. You play a woman who it's like set in the 80s, takes a break from working at her company, which seems to be like Apple/Microsoft kind of style.
Right.
To go and work as a postal worker around this sleepy village around a lake. Okay. And the game just consists of you driving your postal van to different places, meeting the locals and being like, oh, my cat's not well. Could you maybe deliver my cat to this guy who knows about animals who lives on the lake? And you're like, sure, go on then, I will. And then there's payoffs for the different stories and stuff. And this seems like there's going to be some romancing. And fun fact, if you go to the farm, which like I only discovered there was a farm on like day 5 of like delivering packages, but on the farm, and there's like what looks like a scarecrow, and you're like, oh, that's funny. And then you're like, wait, that scarecrow is moving. It's a person. Oh, it's not a scarecrow. Oh, it's a detectorist, and it's Mackenzie Crook from the show Detectorists playing a detectorist with the same name as the character from the TV show.
That's amazing.
And you go up to him and you can have a little conversation and stuff and talk about like being in the Metal Detectorist Club and stuff. And it's very good. I was like, I'm sure that's Mackenzie Crook. Googled it. Is lovely. It's good stuff.
Don't really see him in much anymore, do you?
No, I once served him a drink.
Oh,
there you go.
There we go. Famous people on this podcast that we've served. I genuinely have served Noel Gallagher a bit of perfume, and he was not happy because I was shit at my job. I
can't imagine Noel Gallagher unhappy.
I know, right? It's like he was just not happy. He was not happy with my service. Not happy. To be honest, I've not really. I've got a game to talk about really quickly, and it's a game I actually played a long time ago that I was So basically, I'll set it up. It was my wedding on the weekend, and I had to take Rosie to get her nails done in a nail salon, and I knew for a fact that she was going to be in there for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. But she couldn't get home without me, so I was driving. So there was already a discussion and an understanding that I would be in the car for about 2 hours. Okay. I'll take my Switch, and I'll play something on my Switch I haven't played in a while. I started playing Mario 3D World. Because once you beat the game, you get to play as Rosalina, and there's loads of levels with Rosalina that you can play.
Right.
And honestly, I'd forgotten how good 3D World is. And it's weird because I really enjoyed Bowser's Fury, and Bowser's Fury is great. Like, it really is a lot of fun. But the later levels in 3D World, they're very good, and I'm finding it really hard to see where Mario. And this, I guess, is a conversation we can have in general. Because it's a really interesting one to have. I don't see why there would be why there's any. Right, let me explain. I don't know where they go with Mario in a 2D game, because the last couple have been bad, and the last few 3D games have been very, very, very good. When I played New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch, it was so average and so meh, and I'm just like, 3D World was a better game, and Bowser's Fury was a very interesting way to go.
3D Land was great as well on those.
Yeah, I remember you raving about 3D Land as well, and Odyssey obviously was brilliant. So I'm just like, where do they go from here? Where do they generally go? Because they've done 2D so much. I don't know what they can do without stuff. I don't know.
Maybe they follow the Kirby and the Forgotten Land template. Loads of abilities, and it's not 2D, but it's sort of a limited exploration on a track. So you can veer off the track, but you're always coming back to the track to carry on the level in that kind of 3D World way, but with a bit more freedom. Somewhere between Odyssey and 3D World, really, is how I would describe the new Kirby. And it works. It's such a great game. So
I'm looking forward to playing it. I still have more to, but I'm going to get it.
But I can definitely see a game like that working. But I think the next one's got to be a big 3D one.
Yeah, I agree, man. Because because I know you agree with me. Tropical Freeze completely showed up all of the recent previous Mario 2D platformers, because it's a far superior game than any of the recent Mario side-scrolling games. So I don't know. It's weird because I played that for about 2 hours. I played 3D World for about 2 hours, and I was like, this game's great. This game's a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying it. And I it's great to dip in and out of games like that as well. Just play a level and put it down. And obviously, I played it for a bit longer than that. But yeah, it was really good to go back and visit. But it did make me wonder at the time. I have no willpower to go back and play the 2D side-scrolling games, but I'd absolutely play a 3D World 2.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Whereas I have no interest in a 3D Donkey Kong, but give me Tropical Freeze 2 and I'd bite your hand off.
Isn't that weird? Because I agree. I totally agree. The Donkey Kong works so well in a 2D side-scrolling space, and I think Mario doesn't struggle, but he does so well in a 3D space. Because I don't know. That's kind of it. I have literally just started playing Splatoon 2's
Octo Expansion.
Yeah, Octo Expansion. I literally I played it about half an hour ago for about half an hour. Half an hour before we started, I should say, and it was good. it already feels way better than the actual main story from those.
Oh, that's
good. Because there is no main story basically. It's just
just mechanics.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It feels like a I don't know, a practice level, but you're told that it's not, and it's like, oh, okay, fair enough, whatever. But that's it. I haven't really played anything else. I'm hoping to start playing some other games now I get more free time. But otherwise that's me done. I have nothing else to add, unless there's any other games you want to talk about, unless
I'm currently playing Yoshi's Crafted World, but I've not got much to say yet. I'm quite early on, but
okay, cool. Well, we'll leave it there then, because I think like I was saying to Dav earlier, I'm a tired boy. So let's do some rating. And we'll say goodbye to everyone on the podcast. Thank you for listening and watching, and we'll see you soon.
Tatty bye.